Gentlemen, we have to reinvent Malibu Stacy for the 90s. We'll stay here all night if need be.
And the result is here, the new 911 GT3.
It's been a little over a week since Porsche debuted the new GT3, and apparently everyone, even Porsche, has completely forgotten why the GT3 exists in the first place. In this video, I'm covering the new GT3 in extremely deep detail, and I'm exposing a lot of the things that Porsche has completely swept under the rug. But I'm going to try to do this in the most humorous way possible, because it's frustrating how Porsche is handling this new update, and at this point, all we can do is laugh about it. So just stick with me on this, especially the part where I go over all of the Andreas Preuninger claims about this car and how bogus they actually are.
Both are even more emotional, even more individual, and exactly aligned with the wishes of our customers.
Just like many of you, I was glued to my computer monitor as I eagerly watched the reveal event for the new Porsche GT3. Well, I was eager when the event began, because as I was watching it, I started becoming a little concerned, because instead of talking about the engine and the performance and the lap times like they did for the previous GT3, the reveal event for the new GT3 was much more focused on all of the new luxuries and interior customization that was now available.
We use leather, partially embossed leather on the dashboard, and we use textile inlays as seat center surfaces.
And then after the event ended, I started researching the new GT3, and my concerns were unfortunately confirmed, because the reason the reveal event was focused on all the new luxuries instead of the performance was because the new luxuries are the only real difference between the new GT3 and the old one. Well, that, and now it looks more like the base model Carrera. And I can't believe that I have to say this, but the point of the GT3 is not luxury. The point of the GT3 is to forego luxury in order to maximize lap times. The GT3 was special because it was stripped down, not luxurious. The GT3 offered a sanctuary for people who wanted to get away from the latest luxuries and the latest technologies and simply enjoy driving fast without all of the distractions.
Bit of a rotation. There it goes. Got balance this thing.
With the new GT3, Porsche is making you think you're getting something truly unique. But the fact of the matter is that the new GT3 has more parts in common with the base model Carrera than ever before. And not only is the new GT3 less unique, it's $50,000 more than the last one. But none of this seems to be fazing Porsche's customers, because I keep reading all of these comments from people who are completely losing it over how excited they are about the new luxuries and customization options. And all of these comments are reminding me of this old episode of The Simpsons that revolved around this doll called Malibu Stacy.
My name is Stacy, but you can call me.
I see exactly what you mean. This is a problem. But what do you expect me to do?
In the episode, the doll needed to be updated.
Gentlemen, we have to reinvent Malibu Stacy for the 90s. We'll stay here all night if need be.
But instead of giving the doll any meaningful updates, the company simply takes the old doll and puts a new hat on it, and people completely lose their minds.
They changed Malibu Stacy! She is better than ever!
Wait, don't be fooled! She's just a regular Malibu Stacy with a stupid cheap hat!
But she's got a new hat.
And watching people lose their minds over all the new ways you can customize the interior of the new GT3 is like watching the people of Springfield losing their minds over the doll's new hat.
I want it, me, I want it.
Instead of giving the GT3 more horsepower, Porsche now offers partially embossed leather on the dashboard.
I want it, me, I want it.
Instead of faster lap times for the GT3, Porsche now offers folding seats.
I want it, me, I want it.
And instead of improving the looks of the new GT3, Porsche now offers carbon fiber covers for the side view mirrors.
I want it, me, I want it.
So let's talk about how the new GT3 differs from the last one. Normally, when Porsche makes the GT3, they do everything they can to make it different from the base model Carrera. But not this time, because the new GT3 is not an exercise in performance, and it is not an exercise in uniqueness as Porsche is claiming. The new GT3 is an exercise in cost savings. Here is the base model 992.1 Carrera, and here is the 992.1 GT3. Pretty different, right? But here is the base model 992.2 Carrera, and here is the 992.2 GT3. Pretty similar. Part of Porsche's cost-saving measures for the new GT3 was to use more body panels from the base model Carrera than ever before. And let's face it, it doesn't look good. With the interior of the GT3, everything we like is gone. No tachometer bezel, no keyed ignition, and unless you pay the $25,000 or $30,000 for the Weissach package, you're essentially getting a standard 911 interior. The engine is the same. And don't get me wrong, it's great that this car still has a naturally aspirated engine, but this is the first time in the GT3's history that the Point 2 car doesn't come with a power increase. And when a company charges $50,000 more and doesn't give you at least a small increase in power, that's a joke. And people keep making excuses for Porsche not giving the car a power increase, talking about the environment and government restrictions. But that's a bunch of crap, because Porsche puts V8 engines in their Cayennes and Panameras, so surely they could have given just a little power boost to the engine of what is supposed to be the ultimate example of Porsche performance. But the new GT3 is no longer the ultimate example of Porsche performance. It's the ultimate example of a company taking advantage of its customers, because Porsche knows just how high the demand will be for this car.
I want it, me, I want it.
And they know that they could put minimum effort into updating it.
They changed Malibu Stacy! She is better than ever!
And they know they can charge an additional $50,000 for it, and people will still be getting in line to beg for an allocation.
Keep running, we're almost there!
Now, I don't know if you watched the reveal event or not, but Porsche made some very dubious claims about this car. And we're going to go through them, and we're going to call Porsche out on all of their BS. Now, it's not my intention to rip on Andreas Preuninger, because he is just doing his job. And in this case, his job is to make you think that this lackluster GT3 update is a major automotive achievement.
The entire car is a little tighter in terms of styling than its predecessor.
Okay, what did you mean by tighter in styling than its predecessor? Because its predecessor actually looked a lot better. All you did here was reuse the front bumper from the base model Carrera and then attach this ugly looking thing here to make us think it's a completely different bumper. By tighter, did you mean monetarily? Like reusing parts from the base model 911 allowed you to tighten your budget for redesigning this car? Okay, that makes sense.
With aerodynamic revisions, particularly non-visible ones.
All right, now, what do you mean by non-visible aerodynamic revisions? Do you mean non-existent aerodynamic revisions?
In terms of the gearbox and drive shaft.
Oh, you made the gearbox and drive shaft more aerodynamic. Okay, because everyone knows how much aerodynamic drag is caused by a gearbox that is completely housed inside of the car. And that drive shaft, if you don't get the aerodynamics just right, your lap times are going to be ruined.
By pulling a loop here, the backrest can be unlocked, folded forward, and the loading situation for the driver is much improved. Clear advantage over a fixed shell.
So if you fold the seat backs forward, the driver's situation will be improved. You know, if you think about it, that makes a lot of sense.
What a car. But that's not all. For the first time in the 25-year history of the 911 GT3,
Oh, you just know this is going to be something big.
we are presenting two variants of the GT3 at the same time. The GT3 with Touring Package is just the thing.
Wow. First you blow everyone away with the 959, and then you follow that up with the incredible Carrera GT, and then after that, the next level 918 Spider. And just when we think it can't get any more amazing, you completely outdo yourself by showing us a GT3 and a GT3 without a rear wing at the same time.
We interviewed a number of customers, and there was always one topic that came up in particular.
Okay, because I know quite a few GT3 owners, and each one of them said their main expectation for the new GT3 was more horsepower.
Please give us a 4-seater with the Touring.
So I don't think that's quite what happened. In fact, I'm pretty sure what actually happened is the majority of GT3 customers said they wanted the car to be lighter and have more horsepower. And then there was a very small percentage of people who said they wanted back seats. And then what happened is you weighed making the car lighter and more powerful versus giving it back seats. And you went with the option that required the least amount of effort. And now you're trying to play it like, this is the car everyone's been asking for.
Both are even more emotional.
Okay, what do you mean by more emotional? Do you mean because now I can get partially embossed leather on the dashboard? Because that doesn't make me emotional. More horsepower makes me more emotional.
And exactly aligned with the wishes of our customers.
So yeah, I just don't think that any of your customers came to you and said, please do not improve the performance of this car. Just give us partially embossed leather on the dashboard and also back seats, and let's just call it a day. So for the latest GT3, Porsche was clearly more interested in cost savings than performance improvement, which is interesting because Porsche is more profitable today than ever before, and they certainly had the budget to give the new GT3 some meaningful improvements. It'll be interesting to see what demand will be like for this car compared to the last GT3. And with that $50,000 increase, will dealers still be adding on their $100,000 market adjustment fees? Probably. But will people be as willing to pay for them for a car that in some ways is less appealing than its predecessor? Thanks for watching, and for more automotive content that you cannot find anywhere else, click here to subscribe.